What's going on, hustlers? Today we're going to be discussing how I would sell $1 million worth of products to the government if I had to start over from zero. Now, some of you guys might think that this is just like inherent and God just like blessed me with the skills or the ability to sell stuff to the government, or just sales or business aptitude in general, but this was not always the case. Like, I've literally been doing this for 7 years. Like, I used to bust tables and clean toilets and take out the trash at Wawa. And it took me 5 years to learn how to sell $1 million worth of stuff. And I'm in year 7 of business, and I still haven't made $1 million. Hopefully that'll be this year. But this is how I would sell $1 million. Now, why is it important to create a business that sells $1 million worth of stuff? For 2 main reasons. One, I guess really 3. One, the differentiating factor, because 1 in 20 businesses reaches that mark. So it's not a lot. You're in a very nice bracket there. You're in 5% of the population. So you've now separated yourself. Number 2, it becomes a lot easier to get money from somebody when you can show them, yo, I've made $1 million in revenue. Now, granted, this is selling $1 million. This is not $1 million in profit. And then number 3, just the confidence, right? Like, straight up, just the inherent confidence that you're going to get from knowing that you were able to conduct $1 million worth of business and you are a $1 million business owner. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is going to be 3 steps. So step number 1, you're going to buy this book. It's written by Tony Robbins. It changed my life. It's called Money Master the Game 7 Steps. You're going to do that. And then you're going to find product markets where the average price is between $20,000 to $40,000 per either unit or transaction size. Either one works, but these are the numbers, the ballpark that you need to be in. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to your local Toastmasters club. If you don't know what Toastmasters is, it's a club that teaches people how to get very proficient at public speaking and also helps with some leadership qualities as well. So Toastmasters is great. Now, I never went to Toastmasters. However, what I did do was I did speech and debate in high school, and I qualified for a competition at Harvard. So I spoke at a speech and debate tournament in Harvard, and then a couple other ones, University of Kentucky, a couple other ones. But basically, I was a national qualifier for speech and debate. So that was my substitute for Toastmasters. However, the reason that I'm bringing it up is because my father did Toastmasters, and everything that he taught me about speaking to people and stuff was derived from Toastmasters. So you're going to purchase that book by Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. You're going to read it. You're going to find a product market where either the average transaction size is $20,000 to $40,000 worth of products, or the product size is $20,000 to $40,000. And you're going to go to your local Toastmasters clubs and you're going to start practicing. So you're going to read that book, you're going to conduct market research, and then you're going to go to Toastmasters. Now, stay with me here. Number 2. Once you've identified that product market, you are going to pound the shit out of the pavement. You're going to make straight phone calls. You're not going to make any emails. My other stuff is for startups. My other content on this channel is for startups. This is for somebody who's going for the f***ing jugular. Like, I'm talking about, you got a baby on the way. You got mouths to feed. You got to make something shake. If that's you, then keep watching. You're going to start phone calling and pounding the pavement and talking to distributors and manufacturers. Now, here's the thing, hence the Toastmasters. You're just going to talk to them. You're going to ask them about things outside of business. You're not going to ask them for pricing and availability. You're not going to be selfish. You're not going to come in there and be like, yo, I need to sell this. I need to do da-da-da-da-da. No, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to get to know the person on the other side of the line, because at the end of the day, this is a people business. A lot of times people think it's a government business. You're going to talk to them. You're going to find out what they like. You're going to find out what their interests are, right? Now, after you've done that, you're going to need to find out what it is that company is attempting to sell, that they're having a hard time selling. And this is where that $20,000 to $40,000 product market or transaction size metric comes in. You know that even if it's something that they're having a hard time selling, it's going for $20,000 to $40,000 a pop. You just need to find a way to sell it to the government. Now, remember, we're pounding the pavement. So you're going to have to talk to 20, 30, maybe even 40 companies. I definitely talked to a little north of 30 companies when I had my first breakthrough. I'll never forget it. His name is Kenny. Shout out Kenny, bro. You blessed me. But I had to talk to north of 30 companies before I came across Kenny, and then Kenny was like, oh yeah, we sent out these quotes for these things, and here, I'll throw you a bone, kid. I'll give you a quote so that way you can bid on this. We're always trying to sell these kind of things. So you're going to talk to the person on the other side of the line, and you're going to get to know them. You're going to build a rapport with them. You're going to get them to trust you. And it's not a unethical kind of trust. Like, you want to actually genuinely become friends with this person. You want to find somebody that you align with, because if you're doing $1 million worth of business with somebody, you want to like them and you want to trust them, and vice versa. And then you're going to find what it is that they want to sell. And then subsequently, you're going to tell them, hey, listen, I would like to drum up some business for you. Let me take a stab at this. Let me take a crack at it and see if I can get this stuff moved for you. You don't have to tell them that you're selling it to the government. They don't care whether you're selling to the government or whether you're selling it to Sally down the road. They don't give a shit. They just care that it's being sold, right? So you're going to ask for the pricing and the availability, and then you're going to start bidding. You're going to start bidding. Now, our threshold is always 45 days, and if you're hitting the metrics that we outline over the duration of those 45 days, you're going to win in 45 days. It doesn't make a difference whether or not the product market is 20 to 40,000 or 20 to 40 cents. You're going to win. So for the next 45 days, all you are going to do is submit bids from those companies that you whittle down out of the 30 to 40 that you spoke to. And all you're going to do is you're going to bid on their stuff for the next 30 to 40 days. Now, this is half of a quarter. So you're going, after the 45-day mark, you're then going to subsequently win something, because I guarantee it, if you're hitting the metrics and you're talking to somebody that frequently, they're going to give you maybe not the best. You might even get shit pricing, actually. My pricing that I got for my first contract, which was $186,000, was shit pricing. But remember, guys, 51% of the contracts nobody bids on, or only one person bids on them. So you might bid on something and just be the only person that's providing it to the government, and they need it so bad that they're like, we don't really care if this pricing is quote unquote competitive. We're going to buy it anyways. Remember, it's not our decision to determine whether or not the pricing is competitive. We leave that up to DLA. We did the legwork. We invoked the opportunity cost, so we submit the bid, right? Step 2 is complete. You've spoken on the phone to your distributors / manufacturers or vendors, whoever you want to call it. You found 1 to 2 of them that are willing to sell to you, and you have hit your metrics in terms of submitting either all the bids that you can reasonably submit within 45 days, or you've hit the metrics that we outline below for companies that we work with. Click the link down below if you want some help with that. If not, keep enjoying the free video. Now, let's say when you win, what's the next step on your road to scaling to $1 million in revenue? You now have to create the space and the infrastructure to take on that kind of volume. Now, I thought about this when I was making this video, and the cool thing about being in that 40K mark is, like, realistically, if it's 40K an item, you only have to sell 2 of those things every single month over the duration of a year to get to $1 million. So hopefully what you've picked isn't super big and isn't going to require a lot of space. But if it is really big, then this is where you're going to have to put on your big kid pants, and you're going to have to either get something on net 30 and then have the vendor float it to you and then turn around and sell it to DLA. And maybe the first one you do it out of your house and it's mad uncomfortable, but you make your profit on it, and then you go get a warehouse or something. But the big thing with step number 3 is you have to create the space and the infrastructure to be able to successfully fulfill this material. All right, you're gonna have to be able to deliver on this contract soundly, make sure that your packaging is all good, etc., etc. Then after you deliver, you're simply going to rinse and repeat with that same vendor, or same 2 vendors, same 3 vendors, whatever your vibe is. Then you're going to look at the FSC codes that you just successfully delivered, and then you're going to go find all the cousins of that FSC code, and you're going to repeat the same exact process for all of the related product markets, and you're going to keep doing that until eventually you want to be at like about 80 grand a month. And you're going to rinse and repeat. You're going to do that for 12 months. That is verbatim what I did. I read Tony Robbins' book. I did speech and debate or Toastmasters for you guys. I straight up pounded the pavement and found distributors that were selling stuff that was in the ticket size that I was looking for. And then I found one that wanted to sell, and then created the space / the infrastructure. And to be honest with you guys, at the time when I won that contract, we did not have the space, but shit, we made the space. We were moving cubicles to the side of the office and everything. It was a mess, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So that is how I would sell $1 million worth of products to the government if I had to start over from zero. Not only am I looking forward to your success, I'm absolutely sure of it. Let's go print those dollars.